Good evening, and I would first like to welcome you to my kitchen. My name is Inez Perkins, and I am here to present my presentation for the Communication Strategies in Management. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'd like to talk a little bit about our author that we were able to review in our class this past 8 weeks. I really enjoyed Jerry Weisman. Regarding his structure, his skills, techniques that he was able to bring awareness to the corporate world. And I was learning every week. I was able to incorporate some of those things in my current role as a manager. I work for a healthcare organization, and I thought, well, maybe I'll do this presentation at work, but I figured I could probably do it in my kitchen as I'm cooking because this is what I love to do. And some of the skills and the techniques that he showed us, actually you can apply that, and I related a lot to cooking. So for example, basic ideas that he showed us in tags that really caught my attention was, for example, one of the things that he did was proper planning ahead, knowing what you're going to talk about, and also because it could definitely have a greater impact and success on your presentation. Some of the other things that he wanted to incorporate as well is preparing. So you got your planning and preparing, and then definitely delivering that presentation. So much like cooking, which I like to do a lot, is I always like to plan. Get a recipe that I'm going to plan to go ahead and prepare my meal and then deliver my meal to my family or my guests. And so I feel like when he was talking about 3 of the main things that you can do for your presentation was making sure you have a clear point, making sure you have a clear recipe, a focus, something that you're going to be able to follow, but not read verbatim, because sometimes you can use a recipe, but you just got to know exactly the right amount of ingredients, the right amount of salt, and also the right amount of pepper. So putting those 2 together will help you deliver a good dish that you prepare in the kitchen. So knowing your audience is another one. Knowing the audience that you're going to prepare for. You're preparing for children. You got to make sure you make a certain type of food. But in the corporate world, when you're delivering a presentation, are you delivering to executives? Are you delivering to your frontline staff? What are the things that you can incorporate when you're doing that presentation? So that's example number 2. And the biggest takeaway, I think the 3rd biggest takeaway, is verbalization. He definitely emphasized on that, is practice. Once you've practiced it, practice it again. And the same thing with cooking. You take a recipe and you're practicing, and then you practice. Especially with a new recipe, you got to practice that a few times. So one of the things that for my future goal is, currently I'm a manager, and what I'd like to do is move into a director role. But in order to get from point A to point B, you definitely need to make sure that you've already started to grow in your leadership. And how do you do that is, when you are in my current role, do have to do quite a bit of presentations, and so, but I believe that those are the same people that in the industry that I'm in, which is healthcare, we have known to grow together. And a lot of the projects that I sit on, or committees for these projects, they're the same people, and I stay with those same individuals for 2, 3, 4 years at a time if I'm on a big project. So one of the things that you definitely got to know your audience is, what are you talking to them about? They're going to know your style, and so you've got to be able to incorporate new things. So definitely going to go ahead and use some of the techniques that I learned this past 8 weeks. Okay, so I definitely, and last, finally, in my conclusion, I would like to share some of the scriptures that I really feel that could be used in any corporate world that you live, that you work in. So for me, personally, I work in the healthcare industry that actually we can share scripture during our presentation. So a lot of our presentations, you will see some managers, even directors, adding some of the scriptures. 3 of my favorite scriptures that I actually add in some of my presentations, even currently, is integrity. One of the values that we have is integrity. And I connect that with Luke 6:31 that says, and as you wish that others would do to you, so do so to them. So if you're sitting there, kind of put yourself in their place. If you're the audience, you don't want to be sitting there bored. So that's really important. That's one of the takeaways I definitely will incorporate, making sure that I understand and I am engaging them as well during the presentation. Number 2 would be in Colossians 3:23 that says, whatever you do, work with all your heart as you were working for the Lord, not for man. Definitely a plus. There is always a platform to be able to share some scripture, so thank you so much. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do that. And so in closing, definitely wanted to, in Proverbs 22:29 that says, do you see a man in his work? He will stand before kings. And so definitely something that I like to incorporate in my presentations even today. So thank you so much for listening to me today. I really appreciate your time and have a wonderful evening. Back to cooking.